my gosh, finally, we're starting the episode with a toke. Who would have guessed? Oh my gosh, so sorry, YouTubers. Very smoky in here. Episode 35. Who would have guessed that I started with a toke? Oh no. Audio listeners, please hold. I'll give you one guess as to why you don't see me really toke and toke it out. It's because of this moment right here. It's because of the red hit on the Puffco, and you're like, just hit it on blue or green. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to hit it on red. I'm going to hit it without water, because that's how we do it here in Toke It Out. Anyways, hi. Welcome back to Toke It Out. If this is your first episode, hey, can't believe you made it through this first 35 seconds of me dying, but I'm your host, Maddy Tokes, and what are we toking on today? Some of this, it is going to focus. Amazing. This alien tech, rosin. Tell me what the strain is. I don't know what it is. I was gifted it last night at the Michigan Olympics. Olympics, if you don't know, is one of the biggest award shows in cannabis that there is. There are a lot of award shows that, little ones, other ones, different judges, things like that. But Olympics is really a nationally recognized brand between Michigan and California. I think other places, but I know that those two are the ones I really pay attention to personally. So yeah, Olympics is always a really good time. All the brands come out, bring out their best and brightest, most awesomest setups. If you've ever been to one of these kind of like convention type events or award show events, there's usually booths with different people set up. There's dab bars, there's food, there's a whole bunch of stuff. And as always, Olympics killed it. So thank you again, Olympics, for the tickets and the invite. I appreciate you so much. And I hope to see you guys next year at it as well. Yeah, that's right. I know that you guys think that this is not a cannabis podcast, and it's not really for 90% of it. But it is called Toke It Out because I do toke. And we are part of the cannabis industry. Promise, promise. Speaking of Michigan bud tenders and cannabis industry employees, you are all invited to the High IQ event. Please come. It's 100% free for you guys. There's going to be free food, door raffles. People are going to be winning Puffco pivots, Puffco proxies. Even if you are not playing trivia, you're going to be entered to win a door raffle, at least one. It is consumption friendly and it's going to be a really good time. So check out the Eventbrite in the High IQ link in the bio. Anyways, what did I want to talk about today? How stressed I am? Yeah, a little bit. I am. So if you've noticed, I'm doing a little bit less makeup for Toke It Out because I am trying to multitask every day of my freaking life and also relax and enjoy my life and do something that makes me happy and stuff like that, but also work myself to the bones. I had an incident, unfortunately, with my event, and some of this money I was counting on, I cannot get anymore. Well, that is a bummer. So, and the event is not going to be downsized at all. It's really going to be my paycheck that's going to be cut, it is what it is. And that's what happens when you put on an event. As the person putting it on, you take the responsibility and you take the L, and that's just what it is, period. But it is also kind of a bummer when that happens. So I'm complaining right now just a little bit to you guys that is a huge bummer. Especially because I like this brand, and I don't think it's because they didn't like the event. I think it just like the timing didn't work out between, what they were doing and stuff, so not even a big deal. Anyways, let me tell you something. That guy that's like about to fall. I always quote him when he's about to he's like doing like a bungee jump or like free fall or whatever, and he's like, wait, let me tell you something. And that's how I feel. I'm like, that's how I feel when I get on this podcast. I'm like, let me tell you something. It's me, you guys. Don't lift this. Okay, still working? Cool. So, my event. So, it is 10 days away, and I thought, oh my gosh, time shouldn't be real. And it isn't. It's not real. It's just like a construct. But who made that construct? And where did it start? What are we doing? So, of course, my cush clock ass self is like, oh, cush clock. Who invented clocks? Let's talk about that on the podcast. I am deep in it with this. Okay. So I thought, okay, who invented time? What is the deal with time or whatever? And I don't mean like calendar days. I mean like, why is it right now 4:38 on a Sunday? Like, why is it 4:38 p.m. on a Sunday? Let me tell you something, okay? So, we're taking it back to like 1500 BCE, ancient Egypt, okay? Walk with me here. Walk with me. Ancient Egypt. They're using shadow sticks and obelisks to make like mark hours of the day. Now, I like know what an obelisk is, but okay, shadow sticks, makeup is the only thing that comes up. An obelisk and a shadow stick is so crazy. So we're talking early sundials. Like that is going to be one of the earliest ways that you tell time during the day. At least obviously the sundial is not working at night. Can you guess why? It's because the sun isn't up. The fact that I felt like I had to say that, just be like, whatever. Is the Washington Monument an obelisk? Yeah, it's shaped like it. Anyways, started off with the history of gargoyles here. I don't know how I got to time. I don't know, guys. It's been an interesting Sunday for me, let me tell you. So, that is when the ancient Egyptians, they're marking the day into 12 different parts. And why are they marking it into 12 different parts? Well, that is obviously going to be the 12 hours of the day. And these weren't like structured 60-minute hours that we know today. This was something that, like, in the summer, these hours became longer, and in the winter, they became shorter. So you still had these 12 hours, but they were all part of this daylight because of the obelisk, because of the sun. Obviously, the sun's up longer. What the hell? A shadow clock. Is that just like, okay, so we're talking a sundial. Like, what do you mean a shadow clock? Like, that is a sundial. A shadow clock, it seems like it's a sundial without like the round part. It's just like a thing in the ground, but it's not exactly an obelisk shape. Okay. Not sure how we determined the angle of this. That's actually something I really want to know. But then you get to, 1,000 years later, ancient Greece. They're more like refining the sundials. They're adapting them to the seasons, they're adapting them to latitudes, they're understanding why that, days are getting longer and stuff. Obviously, people knew like days got longer and shorter, whatever. Oop, go ahead and do that. Philosophy at this time, of course, ancient Greece, you have like the gods and the goddesses and philosophers. They're tying sundials to like the cosmic order and wisdom. And like, if you could like understand sundials and the hours and all that, then your wisdom is like level up, level up. Then 250 years later, ancient Rome, public sundials are informed. So these sundials, you didn't have to be, master philosopher to be understanding how sundials worked anymore. They were in public forums. People had them in their homes and in their backyards and stuff. It says portable sundials were invented for travel. What the fuck are we talking about? We are not, this sounds like cartoon-esque. Like you've got like a cartoon character and they're whipping out their watch and it's just like this little sundial and they're like, it's about this. Like that is cartoon-esque. What do you mean a portable sundial? Okay, not modern. Portable sundial, ancient. Oh, are we talking? No fucking way. These are for real. Ancient. Okay. So, okay. So this looks like something out of like Pirates of the Caribbean, right? This is this is some Time Turner, Harry Potter, Pirates of the Caribbean type, Lost Medallion of the Arks, Indiana Jones type shit is a portable sundial. And does it probably just tell time? Yeah, but does it look spooky and cursed? Yeah, kind of does. Definitely saving this. This is spooky and cursed. And there's like different ones, you guys. They're all these like, brass kind of medallions that it looks like you wore on your neck or like flat little like ashtray size type dials that had some kind of thing in them. What? This is a French pocket dial? This is was buried in a field in Indiana? What? That is crazy. Okay, a pocket dial. That was my nickname in college. Pocket dial, So just phone call away, baby. I'm just kidding. That's gross. But no, these are actually so fucking cool. Okay, so that's very cool. I thought this was gonna be like a hoax. That looks very cool. I would have been a bitch that wanted a pocket sundial for sure. I would have been that hoe. I'd have been I'd have been hipster in ancient Egypt, you better believe it. Ancient Egypt, ancient Rome? Yeah. And that's as somebody with Italian heritage, yeah, I'd have been in ancient Rome being a hipster with a pocket sundial. You better believe it. Walking down that street being like, "Oh, do you need to know the time?" Oh, psh, no problem. I definitely know what it is. because I have a pocket sundial. People are like, just look in the square. Just, it's right there. And I was like, yeah, but what if I'm not in the square? I know what time it is. Douchey. Would have been douchey back then too. All right, whatever. So monasteries use these to like track prayer times. They were obviously decorative and they were scientific during the Renaissance. That's clear that you have to like measure the time of certain things. The Renaissance is time of such great discovery and timing and all that needs to be taken into consideration. The symbolism of like life passes like a shadow, you know? That's so that me with my pocket sundial, you know, life passes like a shadow. I love the Smiths. Like that'd have been me, bitch. That'd have been me. All right. Sorry. So that's how you track time during the day. Now, what the fuck? The sun has gone down. How am I gonna be hipster with my pocket sundial now? Now it's just a fancy, heavy medallion around my neck that I probably owe a shitload on. How am I gonna tell time during the night? How am I gonna know when to get up? Because the night, how long do I know I'm gonna need to like sleep for? I'm gonna like set my like I can't set my sundial and be like, oh, 8 hours till you wake up. You know, that when you like do that in your alarm and tells you, we've got 2.5 hours till you have to wake up for your alarm. Yeah, that happens to be. Okay, anyways, we're going to then water clocks. We're using the water clock. Time that flows. You know what I mean? The 1600 BC, Egypt and Babylon, stone bowls with markings for rising or falling water levels. These looked nutty, guys. It really like I'm not sure how you're fucking using this because it's just a bowl of water. Like I don't really understand. So I'm gonna understand by the end of this and we're gonna understand together. But just know in this moment, I'm like not really sure. I understand this other part where it's here in like so 600 years later, we're talking China, 1000 BC. Ancient bronze water clocks with siphons. Okay, so that is going to be more, and I'll show a picture here for you too, but that is going to be more of like a, you know, a funnel type shape now that is full up and each, you know, part of the funnel, there's like notches on the side, markings, whatever, for the levels. And water slowly drips out to the bottom. And as the water drips out, you know how much time has passed. That makes sense to me. The water bowls, not really understanding. So let's see. Together, we will learn things, okay? I don't come super prepared because how the fuck are you gonna get my? Because I'm not gonna act out these like fake reactions, okay? Like I could do it and I could do it, but I'm not going to, okay? Okay, you know, as water clocks, or let's copy text. What is this? Pronounce this. Pronounce this for me. Because I'm not gonna say it correctly. And it's gonna sound stupid if I say it.
Clepsydras.
What the fuck? What the fuck word?
Clepsydras.
Hold on. Collapsidras?
Clepsydras.
Collapsindras. Okay. Water clocks or collapsindras draws for timekeeping. This is too much, you guys. Collapsindras? No, you're not saying it right. No, it is. I'm sure it is. Okay, wait. Is this what I'm talking about? The siphon thing? Oh, okay, okay. So this is where water flowed into this bowl, and as the water filled, you could like see the notches, and you're like, okay, you know, time's up, skirt. And then the other one was a siphon where it came out, and you could see it like empty. Collapse and drowse. Okay, so today we learned a new word together. An outflow type where water drained from a vessel into another one. I see, I see, I see. So together we can. Ancient bronze, water clocks, siphons. Why does it always give me shopping next? What do you think I'm shopping for right now? Okay, so I'm really gonna need somebody to go ahead and explain more about a collapse and dress because I see it. I thought I understood it, but like why is there water flowing from the top into it as well as from the bottom? Does it like go together? I'm not really sure. Okay? So, water clocks turns out are actually a mystery to me. Let's keep going because I've spent how much time on this? Like 5 minutes doing the collapse and dress? Okay, cool. Good shit. Good shit. Uh Also very spooky though, like imagine never mind. Oh, that's very interesting. So in 400 BC in Greece, collapsandrazes collapsandraz? Collapsandry? It just says clepsydra, so it must be singular and plural. Clepsydras were used in courts to time speeches. Plato's version could sound an alarm. What are we talking about? You guys know I'm not spelling that correctly. Okay. Plato's alarm sounding clepsydras worked by using a siphon to create a whistling sound when the water reached a certain level. Designed to wake his students for early morning lectures. Oh, I'd hate that. I'd hate that you figured that out, you stupid son of a bitch. Again, I'd be like going back there and emptying the water. I'd be throwing it on the side. This clever invention used a hydraulic alarm clock built into a water clock. Hate you. Whistling sound. As the water rapidly rushed into a siphoning vessel, it forced the trapped air inside through a narrow opening. This created a similar sound to a tea kettle whistling, which was loud enough to rouse sleepers. Wow. I cannot believe you did that, Plato. You really fucked it up with that, didn't you? You really, and like what was the punishment if you didn't wake up early for these lectures? Was it just like, oh, was he one of those college professors that was like, well, you're paying a lifetime in your butthole to live here. So go ahead and whatever. I mean, meet me in my chambers after and we'll figure it out. Or like, and whatever. Plato did that. It was a thing. It's not, whatever. Whatever. That's so gross. I need to cut that out. Maybe not. Okay, so public water clocks and forums ended up being used in like the Islamic Golden Era, as well as in Rome between 200 BC and 1200 CE. Al-Jarazi and Islamic engineers created elaborate clocks with gears, automatica, and astronomical function. That's very cool. What are you talking about? Okay. I want to see these things. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. These like elaborate water clocks he's making. Wow. Yeah, Islamic Golden Era. Are you kidding? Is this for real? Is this for real? That's something that he made? This is so very cool. These are like super elaborate, ornate water clocks. Wow. This is sick, y'all. I'm gonna save this picture. This is so sick. Yeah, talk about Islamic Golden Era. Holy shoot. Obviously, like some of these are AI as fuck, but some of these are not AI and and obviously for like mechanical, like just drawings of what would become, things. That's incredible. I don't know. Wow. That is just so incredible. Anyways, I had no idea that people were making elaborate like water clocks and stuff because I figured they were just kind of like crude things until the next, but I mean, hey, why aren't we making amazing I mean, I guess, like, water siphons off the sides of buildings used to be gargoyles. Like, we used to make things cool. Things used to be made fucking cool, like water clocks in the Islamic Golden Era and gargoyles in the medieval ages, okay? Things used to be neat. It's like everything is so beige and white and nothing now, dude. Like, how is it like that? Why do you like this? And whatever, I'm a victim of like liking things to look really clean and simple and whatever because sometimes I can be kind of overstimulated by things, but also I have to remember that like I can like as an adult, I get to pick the things in my house that don't have to overstimulate me and can actually bring me comfort. So if you're somebody who is a victim of Operation Beige or minimalism or clean girl aesthetic, remember that if you're listening to this and you are, I want to say like an 18 plus year old adult because that is when you were an adult. But if you're listening to this Toke It Out podcast, hopefully you're 21 and up and you are for sure an adult who can make their own decisions and can choose to surround yourself with the things that you feel comfortable with and aren't trending to feel the acceptance from others. I'm just saying. There's I don't know how we got from clocks to, like, do your own thing, accept yourself, but I'll always bring it back there, and let me tell you, we have to keep going, you guys. You guys, this is very, like, old Toke It Out. We're back, baby. So medieval Europe, like, monasteries, again, are gonna use if you're in a monastery, they gonna use a clock. They're gonna use a clock, let me tell you. They used them before mechanical clocks took over. So monasteries were big on the water clocks, and that's obviously because you can keep time throughout the day, morning and night. Now, depending, hopefully that water's in the shade and it's not evaporating and you're not like a super hot day and like, oh, how did these hours get just a couple minutes short? This, feels a little bit short today. But I don't know if that was a thing. Water clocks, the symbolism around them is about the steady flow of time, fairness, and divine order. So, water is gonna water. And just like people are gonna people, like Morbid says, water is gonna water, as I will always say. Water is gonna water. It's gonna do what it's gonna do. It has no right or wrong. It is divine order. It's very as a Libra, I'm kind of wondering why we're not a water sign, but I get it. It's because it's too unsteady, you know? So now, as I was thinking about clocks and time and shit like that, I was thinking, well, like, when did hourglasses come into play? Because, okay, if we're going from like sundials, water clocks, okay, how can you use that on like a boat? Like, what do sailors use? So, turns out it's more closely to hourglasses. So hourglasses have been used since like the 8th century in Europe. They evolved from water clocks. I'm sure do you guys remember like those little things and they were like the little droplets and stuff and they would go through what am I trying to tell you guys? It was like that like thicker oil and then water and it was like the goop and it would flow through and you could like play a game with it. Never mind. Anyways, maybe I'm a child from a simpler time. Sorry. So they evolved from water clocks, but obviously you can't be using a water clock or a sundial on a ship. So they use them on ships for navigation hourglasses and half hourglasses to be able to be like, okay, here's a half hour, next half hour, next half hour, next half hour for navigation. Because every half hour you need to be like charting where you're going. Because if you're not on the right path, you could be hours and hours out of the way. So, in the 14th and 15th century, they started becoming popular in like churches, courts, workshops. It was very much a like, you can't make that sand go through the like hourglass of it any faster. It's gonna go through 100, like, unless you're shaking this thing up and down, which hopefully you're not, and even in a ship, you're flowing, but you're not like, the lid on this thing is not coming off. It's moving with my hand. So just like that, the sand might move from side to side, but it's not going any quicker or slower through the hourglass because of gravity. Say it with me, gravity. Okay. And obviously, sand is not affected by it's not affected by motion and it's not affected by temperature also. So this sand getting hot or cold is again not going to affect it going through an hourglass. In the Renaissance, it became very synonymous with Memento Mori because the sands of time and sands of time running out and Memento Mori is obviously like remember you must die, which is just like, remember there is an end to it all, just like an hourglass. That it's at some point that last grain of sand is going to fall through. And as much as you can time it out in an hourglass, you can't make it go faster or slower. It's going to go when it's going to go. So the motto became being time flies, life is short. Exactly. So it's going to keep going. It's going to fly by and before you know it it's a very short time. So getting into the damn it, you guys. This is supposed to be a funny fucking podcast. I'm supposed to find funny fucking clips for social media and I can never fucking find them because we're always talking about deep shit, okay? So I need to get your stuff together, okay? Because we need to start being more funny and less serious because holy shit, everything else in my life is so serious right now, okay? Jeez Louise. Everybody's life is so serious. I mean, just the world, freaking A. Okay, see, look, I'm swearing less too. See, it's crazy. Okay, once the 17th century happened, that's when mechanical clocks kind of took over, and that's when hourglasses just stopped becoming, they stopped being used. I mean, they became more symbolism, they became more novelty and more mystical almost. They did survive as like kitchen timers, school timers, and obviously, like I said, like that symbolism, that like little bit of memento mori and gothic symbolism coming off the Renaissance. Obviously, today we're still using hourglasses as like decorations and stuff, but they aren't really used anymore. But if you think about it, like even back when computers were first invented, the time passing was an hourglass. Like if something was loading, it was an hourglass. unless you were an Apple user. I think it was, unless it was really, really early Apple, I think it was always the rainbow wheel of death. And I hate Apple, sorry. It's just, that's what the internet calls it, is the rainbow wheel of death. Not me. I would never call it that. So, and then obviously mechanical clocks took over, and then it becomes more and less interesting as time, like, it becomes less mystical and more like, what's the difference between a grandfather and a grandmother clock? What about wind-up clocks? Why are cuckoo clocks so rare? I did look into this, you guys. It gets deep, deep with clocks, let me tell you. But I think actually we're gonna cut it off. I wanted to go over those. Guys, you're like, what? Listen, it is gonna be a long week. Like I said, I've got 10 days before my event comes up, so I am hoping to get another episode out to you guys ASAP. If I don't this next week, please forgive me. I'm trying my best here, okay? Juggling a lot of things, trying to wear the hats, and throwing spaghetti at the wall until something sticks, okay? So if you're the spaghetti on my wall, please stick with me. Go listen to last week's episode. It's actually very interesting about jazz funerals and like New Orleans death culture a little bit. I just kind of touch on it because it could get so, so deep. But just to see if you guys are interested, and then you could find somebody else who gets, deep as the 10,000 leagues under the sea. But what am I saying, you guys? Anyways, tell your weird uncle about me. Love you. See you guys next week. Bye.